Good evening. Welcome to the Kingdom Culture Center. We're going to talk about today 12, roughly 12 principles of leadership. And I want to first say that the leadership that we're dealing with worldwide now really malfunctions. Many of our leaders malfunction. The first one we're going to deal with is purpose of a leader. A leader must have a sense of destiny, where they're going, their purpose, and why they're there. Second, they must have a vision, a perception of a noble future, knowing where they're going. They see it. It's a part of them. And with leaders, true leaders, and you're going to hear me use the word true quite often, because they're false leaders. Naturally, if there's a true leader, there must be a false leader. It's just like saying if there's a heaven, there must be a hell. So let us move on. A true leader has that vision, must have that vision, and that perception of the noble of the future. Number 3, a true leader exhibits their passion, their commitment beyond tests. One thing you want a leader to have is passion. Passion in what they believe in. It's a part of them. And if you look around today, in today's society, there's not much of that passion. There's not much of what they believe in. My major, my first year in Brooklyn College, by the way, in Brooklyn College, it was political science. And it took me every bit of the first class to find out how politics was to function. Whole semester to show me how it's supposed to function. Within about an hour to show me how it functioned, and a whole semester to show me how it's supposed to function. And I've discovered that it functioned on people's personality, their integrity, their character, and their honesty. These are things that this world system is lacking. And I will go on to say, even in the church, as we know it, preachers are so wishy-washy and not standing on the Constitution, God's Constitution, which to many of you know as the Bible, biblical principles, that they have a tendency to do things that's not conducive to what God's word says. And once again, I must say that it borders on the line of having a religious concept instead of a kingdom concept on what God's word says. It's either do it or you don't. Nothing in between. Let's go on. The next principle for a leader, is deep conviction and beliefs in rightness, the right thing to do. You know, in New York, I used to ride the bus, and early in the morning, I used to get up early in the morning to go to work. And I had somewhat a rapport with some of the bus drivers, if not all of them. And what would be done is that sometime I would run out the house and get to the bus stop running late. But I may not have the exact change. And at that time, you either had to have a pass, a bus pass, what we call a Metro card, or the exact change. Because the bus driver was not allowed in times past to do what he did then, is to have change or to make change for you when you got on the bus. However, there was times when the bus driver told me, gave me a wave. Go ahead, going on. Just like that, you know. And 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, there's very little people on the bus that was going to work like I was. And it was a good thing for me, but was it the right thing? That's the question. Was it the right thing? It was a benefit for me, but it wasn't the right thing. Now, why wasn't the right thing? Due to the fact that he didn't own the bus company. He didn't create it. He wasn't the source. He wasn't the one paying people. He was getting paid himself. So it wasn't right that he would do that. And a leader, true leader, will see that. A true leader. We have many leaders today that I must say, and if I had to put a percentage on it, this is my own percentage. 90% of the leaders, even maybe more, are not true leaders. They're calling question integrity, character, and honesty. And we have a lot of that today in the church. Every day, the negative I see online, and I read in the papers and online, and I'm finding that people lose their purpose. They're focused. Why? Because they're not rooted and grounded in God's word. In other words, they haven't embraced God's word. We're talking about true leaders now. True leaders care for the people. They're God's people. True leaders embrace God's people. He wants to see how they're doing. And keep in mind, a true leader, his primary concern is to doing what's right for God's people. Let us go on to the next one now. A true leader must have compassion for humanity. Love the people. Love them, embrace them, care for them. We go on. The standards. A true leader maintains certain standards. And in this case, the standards are God's principles and laws. And not only for here, but that's universal. Whether they embrace it or not is another thing. I want you to keep in mind that the whole world will come accountable for their actions, especially those who claim to know God and do things just the opposite. Especially those. So, excuse me. So, these are just a fraction, a synopsis. Another principle. A true leader have a code of ethics. These are the leaders that God chooses. When you embrace God's regulations, when you embrace God's principles, his laws, these laws, and you study them constantly, these laws become a part of you. They become a part of your lifestyle. Whereas wherever you go, you're consistent. A true leader is consistent. You can always bank on them and expect them to do what's right. Not necessarily what's good, but what's right. Now, we're going to continue on number 8 in our next session. Have a nice evening.